Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Indie Book Review. I know, 2 in 2 days. I mean, how awesome is that? And it's actually because the two books were relatively short. They were novellas, and yeah. So, today I am reviewing Summer Night by Heron. And I am not going to do any sort of lead up like I normally do because it's kind of spoilery to even try with this book. So, plot. The plot is basically about this woman with a certain superpower that I'm not going to spoil for anybody, um, who gets stopped by the police. The cops are fairly racist, they're fairly corrupt, and, they're holding her where she's at and trying to arrest her because that's just who they are. And throughout the story, you find out who these cops are, what they've done, and that there are other people with superpowers out there. And there's one in particular who's kind of like a Punisher style vigilante. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, in terms of plot, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It does tend to go a little too quick in a lot of places, where it needs to really slow down. It does it really well, but I kind of would have liked it to be a little slower of a pace. Let the horror and the dread really sink in instead of it just kind of being a bam 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 sort of story. So, yeah, the plot was actually really good and it was very gripping. It just was a little too quick for my liking. Characters. There's not really much in the way of characters in this. I mean, you got the main character, Summer. You got the three cops that are predominantly throughout the story, two of which are corrupt. The other one is actually a pretty good guy just trying to do his job. And then you got the superhero who shows up at the very end. Um, Summer as a character is, yeah, she's kind of dull. But actually, no, she's not even really that dull. She's just kind of there. She was kind of a wrong place, wrong time sort of idea. So, her as a character, you definitely get that she's scared of these cops. She's scared of what's going on. She doesn't want to be in that sort of predicament, and she wants to just go back to work. But these cops aren't allowing it. The cops, the two corrupt ones, they did some pretty wicked shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Ugh. Yeah. And the good cop was actually a pretty good guy. I'm not gonna say too much about his character. He could be kind of an asshole, just a good cop. Not a lot is really known about the guy, but hey. And then the superhero. He shows up at the end. He's kind of like as I said, he's kind of like a Punisher character, but he's got also a bit of a Batman conviction as well. You'll understand when you read it. So for characterization and characters, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Like, it actually did a pretty decent job. I would have liked a bit more on the characters. Frankly, I just think the book should have been a little bigger than what it was. It's what a lot of this really boils down to. The book really should have been a little bigger than what it was. At least in my opinion, 4 stars is still pretty damn good. Writing. This is where I'm gonna not be as nice about things because it's written in a certain way that I just don't particularly enjoy. And this is a me thing. Like, don't take this with a cup of salt. And yeah, not just a pinch, like a full cup. Take this with a cup of salt. I mean, this is my personal taste getting into this. The first half of this story is kind of choppy. You got the past, you got the past and the present kind of being shown simultaneously. And I don't like that. I don't like the flashback, flash forward, consistent sort of thing in, at least in books. Like, in a movie or a TV show, you get that sort of thing, but You know it's a flashback. You know that the flashback is supposed to lead up to something, but the flashbacks in this don't. Like, this could have been a continual story from start to finish without the flashbacks and flash forwards, and it would have done actually a better job of portraying what it's trying to portray. Instead, I kind of. I actually got a little lost in what the story was trying to say and what the story was trying to do until it actually became until it actually became a linear storyline. Once that happened, I was able to follow it really easily. Because the story's not poorly written. The book is not poorly written. I mean, maybe another round of edits could have done it a little bit of favor, but it's an indie book. You're not going to catch everything no matter what, because you just don't have that kind of funds as an indie author. I get that. I'm an indie author. Trust me, my first book is definitely, it's got some flaws that I'm not entirely impressed that I missed and that the editor missed, but that's indie authoring for you. It is what it is. But yeah, other than that, it really was well written. But because that is such, especially it being the beginning, is such an important thing, I'm going to give writing 2 stars. But like I said, take that with a major cup of salt, because it's my personal taste getting into that. Imagination, there's a little bit of imagination put into this. I mean, you gotta have some to get into what those cops did. You gotta get some to put superheroes into such, and superhumans into such situations, and to have superheroes to begin with. But if I'm being perfectly honest, this isn't anything that I haven't seen before. And ad nauseum. Like, I've seen this so many times. Not this story in particular, but almost every aspect of it. I have seen it so many times. So, it was done well, though. So, I'm going to give it 3 stars. It was done well. It just, I've seen every beat of this story before. And now we get to the ending. I know, that last little bit was kind of rough, and I'm so sorry. But I'm doing honest reviews, and the authors want me to be honest, so. But yeah, endings. The ending. Basically, the superhero shows up, kills the 2 corrupt cops, lets the other one go, and gives her a big spiel and speech about how her power is not a curse, it's a gift, and that she has the ability to do what she needs to do in order to make the city a better place. But the hero actually did something that I am so happy, and I have actually not seen in any superhero fiction. He said that he will turn himself in once his job is complete. And he listed who he was after. He said once those people are gone, I will turn myself in. Which actually is pretty awesome. It's something I haven't seen before in superhero fiction. It's something that I probably won't see for a very long time again in superhero fiction. Because, it's superheroes. We're not kind of looking for logic in terms of law so much. I mean, that's why Batman, Spider-Man, and all these characters are able to do what they do. When they do try and put in logic, you get something like Civil War, which, don't get me wrong, was an awesome comic series, but it caused a lot of problems within the Marvel comics. But anyway, yeah, the ending was actually really cool. The ending really picked up in terms of what I really wanted to see with this, and honestly, the only real nitpick I have is that the speech seemed a little disingenuous. The speech was just sort of you can do this, I want you to do this, here's your costume, and then he fucks off. It was a little quick. I would have liked to have just seen that little bit more for the ending. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad ending. It was actually a really good ending. A little quick, but really good ending. 4-star ending. Nothing wrong with it. So, all in all, the story gets a 6 out of 10. Like, it's middle of the road. Like, it's got some really good ideas. It's got some really good characters. And it's actually really gripping. It's just a little too quick. And just that flash forward, flashback, constant at the start of the story really pulled me out of the immersion. It's, yeah, it just didn't, it doesn't work for me. But anyway, yeah, A Summer Night by Zay Heron. If if you actually do like that style of writing, check it out. Actually, this might even work for you even if you don't. So check it out regardless. It's actually, despite that one thing, it is really good. It does, I mean, a 6 out of 10 is a pretty damn good mark. I mean, it's 60%. It's definitely passing. But yeah, check out the story. It's pretty decent. And yeah, I'm Quinn W. Buckland, and I'll see you all later. Bye.